Last week we were once again blown away by resin man Andre Null and his skills at creating something from nothing. We completed the construction of our gas storage compartment, and I messed up when I bought a power steering box that was far too big for our Mirai. This week I fixed that mistake at a price, and in the process continued to be disappointed at the bad business ethics of many businesses on the lower south coast of KwaZulu-Natal. Come on, man! On a positive note, Bossman Brahm and Smoke and John both climb into our interior side panels. Resin Man has to do some damage control as the humidity threatens to disrupt his dashboard construction. And I head back into the classroom to start the road to my heavy-duty license. All this and so much more in episode 79 of A Dream Called Mirai. Life at East Coast Scratch and Dent continues as skilled craftsmen breathe life back into the iconic vehicles of our past. One of those vehicles is our Mirai. It is a new week, it is a new day, and yes, I have got some fizz back on my face. What a week last week, and what a week we got lined up for you now. First thing is I'm going with Engine Pete to go and sort out the mess up I made with the power steering box. We're going to change it for a smaller one, plus I'm taking my old gearbox that we are hopefully going to swap for an exhaust. So let's go shopping. And this is the place we are going to shop at. At first glance, one would think you are looking at corpses on a battlefield in Mordor. Trust me, this is not like Pick and Pay, hey? This is not like Pick and Pay. Finding stuff here is a mission. This is really like looking for a needle in a haystack. A very big needle in very hard hay. We need to find a couple of brackets needed for our power steering fittings, as well as a pulley and some pipes for the whole system.
That's the bracket, eh? Yeah, that's the one we need now.
No, you want this other one.
This one fits onto this, to the pump there.
After a few hours, we start to get some results. We have our exhaust. The pipes are in great condition. The silencer, however, Rocky has got his work cut out for it. He's going to need to do a lot of work on that. Hopefully the inside is okay. I picked my way through more of the Middle-earth battlefield to where we have located a smaller power steering box in an Isuzu truck that will be perfect for Mirai. Now this power steering box is the right size. It's a much smaller one, so the guys are busy taking it out, and we will swap this little one for that huge mother thing that I went and got. And hopefully this one does the job. I was under the impression that I would do a straight swap of the Goliath power steering box for this smaller one. We loaded everything onto the bakkie. I wanted to chat to our friend to make sure we are good regarding the value of what I was taking. He said he will send me an invoice. Well, there was a successful little foraging exercise. We came right with quite a few bits and pieces. I was hoping to get more, and I've still got my old 4-speed gearbox. I wasn't going to give that to the Oaks. I think it's worth something. So but at least we've got stuff to keep Engine Pete busy for a while now. I left East Coast Scratch and Dent a happy bunny, as we were now a step closer to finalizing our engine and power setup. It was all too good to be true. I had a bit of a rude awakening this morning. That rude awakening was this email from the spares company we sourced our used parts from. And his invoice is ridiculous. So my choice is I either take it all back and I start sourcing all this again. Because really I'm just so fed up with this. I really am. I appreciate some of these things are difficult to get, but what he's charging me, he's fleecing me. But I'm so tired of going through this process again and again and again, that sometimes you just throw your hands up in the air and just say, well, stuff it, and let them shaft me. Bloody hell. I made the decision to keep the goods and suck up the financial pain. We had a great little power steering box and an entire exhaust assembly. I may have been feeling a bit blue, but the East Coast Scratch and Dent guys beat me hands down. The process of getting a silky smooth blue finish on our interior panels takes time. The panels are sprayed, then sanded, sprayed again, sanded again, until they meet Bovril'S high standards. This whole smoothing down process is quite amazing. You must feel the finish on that on the wood that Bovril'S is busy with. Smoker John was at it all day yesterday, and now Bovril'S has taken over this morning. But if you feel that wood, it is like, oh man, it's like an oiled plank almost. It is really, really very, very smooth. Once the blue coat is finalized, a clear matte spray will finish the panels off. We're enclosing the steel seating bases that make up our storage with the blue panels as well. At this stage it may seem as though we're overdoing the blue, but we are still going to add a lot more textures and color to our interior. Meanwhile, this sanding is almost there. And if you cup somebody with that, you give them a Smurf club. While we were surviving Mordor, I picked up an old air duct that I thought Andre could use in his dash construction. It would save a huge amount of time, as now he need not make one from fiberglass. All we needed was some 63mm expanding plastic piping to connect the large plastic duct to the air vents. Andre had seen one at a little spare shop that was next door to East Coast Scratch and Dent. I felt a Smurf club coming on. Now here's another case of a local businessman trying to rip me off. I went now to go and get some 63mm flexi duct hosing from a guy from a little business very close to East Coast Scratch and Dent. Now, Andre, resin man, went to this oak and he got a sample of this pipe and the guy said $140. I went to go pay the man. He tells me, no, that's the old price. The new price is 280 Rand. Come on, man. So, I'm calm. It is 150 Rand online, and I've ordered it online. And that businessman, he can just go and get knotted. I am so gutful. You have no idea. I was getting so heated that I think I raised the humidity in the region by a good few percentage points. And that was not good for resin man Andre and his foam dashboard. So just to highlight how challenging it is to work with this foam, Andre was telling me now he laid all this extra foam out before the weekend. And when he came in this morning, it's like some of it looks like it's collapsed, almost like a cake in the oven, you know, and it like collapses. So he's got to cover it with a PVA so that doesn't happen and then smooth it all out again. So yeah, it's a very difficult medium to work with and to get right. Resin Man was able to salvage the dashboard mold, and after a coat of PVA paint, it was ready for the next stage of production. What Andre's busy doing behind me is he's now putting a layer of body filler over the entire mold, just to fill in all the little cracks and any blemishes. Then what happens is that gets sanded down till it's really, really smooth, and then it gets done again until you end up with something that is perfect, measurements right, everything 100. Only then does he go ahead and make the actual mold for the final product. I am really finding this whole process fascinating and decided to ask our resin hero a personal question.
Do you enjoy this? Because it's like, I really believe it's like an art form.
Well, I enjoy it. It's sometimes a bit time consuming, but like art, you said,
Yeah.
art doesn't get done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I enjoy doing it, and I like to see the shape coming out as I go.
Yeah.
It gets better and nicer. And I want to see the end product, so
Yeah.
I try and push and enjoy every bit of it.
After some serious elbow grease, the dash mold has had its first of many sanding sessions. Something else that was a lot of work was me having to study for my heavy-duty learner's license test. Because we do not know the weight of Mirai, I have got to get my heavy-duty license. and it's just as a precaution. So I'm on my way to go and write the test right now. And with me in the car, we got Zola. And Zola is doing the license as well. She's never driven, doesn't know anything about driving. So are you nervous?
Very.
Hopefully I've done enough to pass. Hopefully Zola has. If so, I will then go and get my heavy duty, and Zola will start to learn to drive. Easy peasy. When Zola and I sat in front of our monitors, I was suddenly not feeling as confident as I was a few minutes earlier. A little uitkak by our instructor. Yebo. And the test began. I aced it, hit the ball out of the park. Unfortunately, Zola slipped up by just one question. She was one question shy of passing. But she will be back because it's my birthday present to her. She's a very special lady in our lives, and she's keen to learn to drive. But this is not an easy booklet. What? Someone whose brain cells are semi-intact is Smokin' John. He is being meticulous when it comes to making sure that Marai's exterior is perfectly uniform over the entire vehicle. Quite interesting to see what Smokin' John has done in order to get a template to make sure all our side supports are identical. You don't want the one side of the vehicle to be more curved than the other, so we have to make sure everything is exactly the same. Smokin' John moves his template along the length of the vehicle and takes note of each side support that needs to be adjusted. Another part of Marai that is coming along swimmingly are our ablutions. No, we are not going for a new goth-looking black toilet. That is a sealer that has gone all over the inside of our ablutions, and the PVC sheeting will go over that. That really needs to be 100% waterproof. As soon as the sealant was dry, the PVC walls were installed. Our little loo is looking awesome. We have a nice little challenge ahead when we get to constructing the loo sliding door. It is getting close to being able to look at starting to install Marai's new body panels. The rolling blackouts we are experiencing are not helping our cause at all. They're not helping our region at all, although for some businesses here on the south coast, power on or off makes absolutely no difference. 10 times. 10 times is the number of times I have asked a local service provider to come and fix a little problem of something that he did at my property, something I paid a lot of money for. I then was shafted by the used spare guys. Somebody then tried to rip me off for the little aircon hose. These are all local businesses, and I'm so fed up with it. It is unbelievable. Virtually every small service provider who I've dealt with on Marai, who is from the lower south coast, has tried to rip me off, almost without exception. One could say I'm generalizing, but that's not the case, except for the Oaks at East Coast Scratch and Dent. They've been fantastic, and I don't know why it is. I mean, work here is scarce. Anyway, rant over. My friends in Ukraine, I am still thinking of you. It has been really disturbing seeing beautiful, peaceful, loving people being turned into people full of hatred for those who have invaded their country. And it is totally understandable. You are in my thoughts. Anyways, that's it. Still no movement on our engine front. Hopefully we'll get something next week. Load shedding is with us, and it's been a pain in the butt. But we will see you next time. Keep safe. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You will find us under A Dream Called Marai. Until next time, and keep your dreams alive.